All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Engage Turn-In Training. I am so excited to have you all join us today. For those of you that may not know me, my name is Sarah Giamenko, and I am the Director of Reporter Engagement at U.S. Legal Support. As a brief introduction, I have worn many hats at U.S. Legal Support over the years, including exhibit processing, records assistant, and production processor. I was also a freelance court reporter for U.S. Legal Support after becoming a California CSR. So it's safe to say that I know a lot about U.S. Legal both inside and out. With that said, you are here today for a training session on our new turn-in process through Engage. And this has been a long time coming, so I hope you are all as excited as we are. Just some quick housekeeping items before we get started. Please make sure to keep your microphones muted so we avoid any unwanted background noise. This session is being recorded for those reporters that are unable to join us live, so please just keep that in mind. I'm also going to ask that you please hold all of your questions until the end. We have many court reporters here from many different states, which is awesome, but some things may apply to some and not others, and vice versa. In this training, I'm going to go over a couple of sample transcripts of jobs to turn in, which will generally cover everything that you need to know. I can try and take questions at the end, but again, some questions may not apply to everyone, and I want to make sure that we get to what we need to get to today. As an alternative, we do have Sonia Vargas here joining us, and for those of you that may not know Sonia, she is a manager in the reporter relations team, and she's going to be monitoring the chat. So if a question comes up, please feel free to pop it in there, and she can kind of answer as we go. And of course, you are also free to email us after this call by emailing reporterrelations@uslegalsupport.com so we can address any questions that may have come up. And lastly, we are aiming to have the features that we go over today available in early August, which, can you believe it, is already this week. So with that said, please be on the lookout over the next week or so for an email communication regarding when you can start utilizing these turn-in features. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to pull up Engage here. And I'm sorry, I have this screen up top. I just want to make sure everybody can see my screen okay. All right. So I have already logged into my Engage portal, and this home screen, aka dashboard, however you refer to it, should look familiar to those of you that are already utilizing Engage. We did not change much as it comes to this view. Now, I know we're all here for Engage Turn-In, and although we didn't change much to the dashboard, there are just a few small callouts that I want to make on features that will be new. So first, as you can see, I had a couple job assignments today. And what's new here is if your job assignment is remote, you can easily join the proceeding by clicking this newly added join button that's right here on the home page. You are still going to receive your job assignments via email. Nothing is changing there, so you will still have the link in your email.
I can't hear you.
Did somebody say they can't hear me? Okay, I'm going to keep going. Maybe Sonia, if you can find out who can't hear me and help troubleshoot, that would be helpful. Thank you. All right, sorry about that. So again, you are still going to receive your job notifications via email. So you're still going to have the link in your email if you choose to join that way. But again, I know we all get 1,000 emails a day. And so if you're scrambling last minute and you need to join, you can go ahead and click this join button and it'll take you right into the meeting. If your job assignment is in person, that join button is going to be disabled because there's nothing to join, right? You went in person. And I also want to note that the join button is only going to appear on job assignments that you have scheduled for today. So if I had a job assignment tomorrow, which I don't because I'm going to be traveling to NCRA, so if any of you are going to be there, I look forward to seeing you. But I'm off tomorrow. I don't have any job assignments. But if I did have a job assignment tomorrow, the card would appear here under tomorrow, and there will not be a join link. Don't panic. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It's just you shouldn't want to join the proceeding until the day of. And so that join link is going to appear on the day of your job, again, if it is remote. Okay. Alrighty. You also can click right into this card and you can join using this button right here as well. So again, just 2 more places for you to have the join link if your job is remote. And again, you're still going to have it via email. Nothing is changing there. The second thing I want to point out is some of you may have noticed that we made a few updates on this screen as well. And now you can quickly view the service number, the turnaround time, and the due date all conveniently right up here at the top. And if you keep scrolling down, you're going to see witness information as well as party information and any pertinent instructions as it pertains to the job right down here. Again, this information is also available on your job worksheets just as they are today, and you're still going to receive those via email. But again, it's great to have it here, trying to make Engage your one-stop shop where you can store everything. If you click into the Documents tab over here on the left, you will also have access to your reporter worksheet, which again you're still going to receive via email, but you'll also have access to the notice here. Again, if we received it, you'll have that via email in your notification as well. If we did not receive it, it will not be here. Yes, we do ask clients for notices at the time of scheduling and during confirmation for the preceding notice. And so if we didn't receive it and it's not included in your email or it's not included here, we didn't receive it either, but it's not for a lack of trying. And for those of you that are not aware, under this Documents tab, you also have access to case documents. So if you open up this little screen right here, you actually have access to any previous notices in the job. I'm sorry, in the case. And you also have access to any previously marked exhibits. You don't, however, have access to prior transcripts. Some reporters don't realize that this is here for you though, so you can access other documents if in the case if you were looking for something specific. The Case Parties tab, nothing really changed here. It just has information on any case parties that are a part of the case that we are aware of. And then, of course, the Pay Info tab, nothing changed here. This is just another way to view your invoices and a breakdown of line items. Again, you can also utilize the Pay Info tab, which is over here on your left-hand side. Again, nothing really changed here, just another way to view. All right, so let's get to what we are actually here for, which is Turn-In. To clarify, there will no longer be a need for a billing worksheet. Woohoo! We have built everything that is currently on the billing worksheet into Engage, along with pre-populated information that we already know, such as the service number, the job date, the due date, and all that good stuff. So this process is going to be so much simpler and quicker for you, which is super exciting. So when you're ready to turn in an assignment, there are a few different ways that you can get to the turn-in features. The first way is to go to the assignments due section, which is right up here. And you can look at past due jobs, jobs due this week, jobs due next week, and everything that you have outstanding. I'm going to look at everything that I have outstanding, and boom, right here is a turn-in button. Now, since I'm on this screen, not to pivot too much, but I do want to point something else out that reporters may not be aware of right now in Engage. This screen is actually customizable. So there are a lot of different categories on this screen. Some might be important to you, some may not. If you're like me, I always categorize my jobs by the job date. That's kind of how I knew what I needed to transcribe and what I needed to turn in. So you can easily move these columns around so that you can view what's important to you. Once you move anything, this will stay as you log in and log out of Engage. And again, this is available to you right now in Engage. So if you're in Engage and you're following along, again, some of these features aren't available yet, but these columns are customizable. So if you want to go in and play around and customize your view, you can do that. You can also make them bigger or smaller. So just a little tip there. All right, so the turn-in button is right here if you're looking at your assignments due. The other way to get to the turn-in features is from your calendar view. So if you click on the calendar tab, that again is right here in the left-hand corner, nothing's changing there. Again, if you're like me, you can quickly navigate to the date of the job that you're trying to turn in, and you can click right on it. You'll be taken back to that assignment details page that we were just reviewing, and the turn-in button is right here in the right corner. So this is where we're going to start, and I'm going to turn in this job, all right? So once I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead and click Turn In. And by clicking turn in, you're going to be prompted with a choice to select a billing type. You have the option to choose from a transcript order, a bill and hold, case settled, certificate of non-appearance, or a late cancellation. Now, I know we're all experienced reporters. I think we all know what these mean. But again, being in this position and working with reporters in all 50 states, it really is amazing how different some states refer to things than other states. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, I'm going to briefly go over what each of these options mean, just to make sure that everybody is following along. Transcript order, I think that's easy enough, right? You take a job assignment, you transcribe the job, it's going to a client, you're going to click transcript order. A bill and hold means you took down testimony, it wasn't ordered at the time of the proceeding, so you're going to click bill and hold. Case settled, again, I think pretty straightforward, right? Either you appeared at the job assignment and they conversed and they decided to settle the case. Maybe you went on record, you took down some testimony, they took a break and decided to settle the case, or maybe you finished the whole job and they reached out tomorrow and said, hey, we ended up settling that case. That's case settled. Certificate of non-appearance, that means that the witness did not appear, but the attorney is asking you to make a certificate stating that fact. You'd either make a general certificate or maybe the attorney wanted to make a statement on the record noting the fact that the witness did not appear. Either way, we need to send a transcript of some sort to the attorney, again, noting the fact that the witness did not appear. So that's when you would select certificate of non-appearance. And then finally, you have late cancellation. You were assigned to the job, you accepted the job, maybe it canceled, the night before, maybe it canceled the morning of, maybe you showed up and no one else did. Didn't go forward, that's a late cancellation. All right. One quick thing I do want to point out on this screen is there is a little tooltip right here, and that is going to assist you in selecting which option to choose if you're not sure. I will say that we are trying to make this a little more clear. Again, vocabulary varies across different states. We want to make sure that everybody understands this, but since I have you tonight, I want to make sure that it's understood. If you have more than one witness and at least one witness was ordered, you're always going to select transcript order. For example, if you have two witnesses and one transcript was ordered, but the second witness didn't show up, you're always going to select transcript order. And there's going to be a way to tell us if the other witness canceled or if it was a certain non-appearance or whatever happened with the other witness in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to show you that. So that's what that tooltip means there when it says submitting a combo or a bust. So if at least one witness ordered, you're going to select transcript order. So for purposes of demonstration today, I'm going to turn in a transcript order. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to hit start. Once you hit start, you're going to be taken into our turn-in wizard. And you're going to be able to view the job number right up here in the right corner, just to make sure you're turning in the right assignment. In the left corner, it's also going to tell you what billing type you selected. If you're moving a little quickly and you get to this screen and you're like, oh shoot, this actually wasn't a transcript order. This actually was a late cancellation. Don't worry. All you have to do is go up in this right corner and click this X. And right here, you can exit in order to select a new billing type. And you'll kind of just start over from there, okay? But in this left corner is confirming what you're turning in. You'll also view the case name right up here, along with the proceeding date. Again, just another double check that you're turning in the right job. And then you're going to see this progress bar right up here. And as you can see, there are about 5 screens that you're going to go through and complete in order to submit your job assignment. Right here, you're going to go ahead and enter the start time. We no longer need the notice start time like it is on the billing worksheet now because we have that information in our system. So we just need to know when you actually went on record. You can either use these dials right here to get to the start time, or you can manually type it in. If you manually type it in, you do need to include the AM or PM designation. And the minute you click away from it, the system's going to take that. Same thing, you're going to put in the actual end time. Click away, the system's going to take it. Turnaround time is going to automatically be pre-populated based on information that we received from the client at the time of scheduling. So at the time of scheduling, if the client says, hey, I'm going to need this as a 2-day expedite, we're going to already have that in there for you. If the client requests an expedite at the time of your deposition, you can easily let us know that by selecting this dropdown and letting us know the type of expedite that this is. If we want to say this transcript order is a 2-day expedite, you'll notice that the client due date automatically adjusted based on what I put in here. So that's great. No math is involved, right? And then if you were in person, you have the opportunity to enter your parking cost here for reimbursement. And then on the right-hand side, you have other job details that you can let us know. Again, anything that we know ahead of time is going to be pre-populated. But if we weren't aware that it was a doctor depot, for example, you can let us know that it's technical by checking this box here. If a videographer or an interpreter were also scheduled on this job, we would know that ahead of time. But we also know that sometimes opposing counsel likes to order these services. And so if you show up and all of a sudden there's an interpreter there and you didn't know and we didn't know, you can let us know by checking this box here. If your job was remote, that's automatically going to be pre-populated here. And then you can also let us know if you did any before or after hours work or weekend or holiday hours. So once you are done filling all of that in, you're going to go ahead and select next. Once you hit next, you're going to be taken into our second screen, which is witness info. Now, again, if you were moving a little too fast and you're like, oh, shoot, I got to go back to service info, I messed up something, you can either click the bubble right up here to be taken back to that screen, or there's this little back button right here. You can just go on back. All right. But this is the witness information page. And so now we're going to fill in the witness information, which again is automatically going to be pre-populated based on scheduling information we have. Now, you do have the ability to edit the witness name because again, we know sometimes you show up, you think you're taking the testimony of John Smith, but you realize that John Smith is spelled with a Y. You can go ahead and let us know that here, and we'll update our system during processing. You also have the ability to add a witness, which is this button right up here. Now, this is a rarity, so I don't want you guys to stress too much about this. But again, if there is a witness that was not scheduled, we weren't prepared for it, maybe it was a husband and wife, and the husband went way faster than we thought, and the wife was there, and everybody agrees, like, okay, let's take the wife's depo, of course, if the reporter is free and you agree to do that, you can go ahead and add the witness here. Now, please keep in mind that the very first required question, if you were to add a witness, is going to ask you if the second witness that was added, or third witness, whatever the witness number is, if it was noticed by the same firm that scheduled the original witness. And we want to know that because billing. So in my scenario that I just said, it was a husband and wife depo, husband went super quick. We want to go ahead and get the wife over with rather than doing her depo next week. Go ahead and add it. It's all going to be billed to the ABC family law. But maybe there's a situation where it's a husband versus a wife and the husband goes by really quickly. And then opposing counsel is like, well, do you want to just depose my client since we're all here? If it is going to be billed to a different party and this answer is no, please reach out to us because we got to get you a different job number because it's going to be billed to a different attorney. If none of that made sense to you, do not worry. Like I said, this is super rare. We don't really like when witnesses get added, right? We like to know what we're in for the day. So if that situation ever comes up for you and you don't know what to do here, just reach out to us. We'll let you know what to do. All right. Again, a rarity. It's here for you if you have it. But since it's so rare, I'm not going to add a witness today. All right, so once you confirm the witness name and the spellings are correct and everything like that, you're going to move through these fields and let us know the information about the witness. The type is going to pre-populate, again, depending on what you originally selected as the billing type, okay? You shouldn't have to touch this drop-down too much, again, unless there's more than one witness and there's different billing types. So if John Smith was an order, but Jane Doe didn't appear, you have the option to let us know that this one is a different billing type. If you're on a jury trial and you got to do an excerpt or something along those lines, you can let us know that it's an excerpt so that our production department knows that you're not turning in the full transcript. Again, you shouldn't have to deal with this too much. It's going to default to whatever you selected in the beginning and go from there. You're going to go ahead and let us know the amount of pages. You can let us know if there was a volume. You can let us know if it was confidential or if there's confidential portions. And then you're going to let us know read and sign instructions. I'm a California court reporter, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this witness decided to read and sign his transcripts. If you selected yes, you have to let us know read and sign delivery. By selecting this dropdown, you will have access to all the options that you currently have on the billing worksheet. So one of these should make sense to you. Again, I'm a California court reporter, so I'm going to go ahead and say that the original was held to code. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. Again, these are all the options that you currently have on your billing worksheet, so one of them should relate to you. You can let us know if any exhibits were marked, and you can also let us know if any exhibits were retained. I know in this remote world, it's very difficult to get electronic exhibits from attorneys, even after emailing them multiple times. And we all do sincerely appreciate your due diligence with this. But we do understand that sometimes it comes time to turn to the job and you didn't get the exhibits. So those exhibits ended up being retained. You can let us know that. And you can also let us know that maybe only exhibit 1 was retained by plaintiff's counsel. You can let us know that they were all retained and who retained them. Again, this is a free fill form, so you can enter any information there. For purposes of demonstration, I'm going to say that I did receive these exhibits, so I'm not going to select that they were retained. All right, so again, you're going to fill in the form here and let us know all of the pertinent information. Once you fill out everything on this form, you're going to go ahead and select Next. Now, if you recall, I said that John Smith elected to read and sign his transcript. Remember, I hit yes right here. If you hit yes, once you hit next, you're going to be presented with this pop-up. And this is read and sign distribution information. Again, depends on whatever your read and sign delivery option is. Sometimes transcripts go directly to the witness. Sometimes only read and sign letters go to the witness. Sometimes it's mailed to the witness. Sometimes it's mailed to the attorney care of the witness. Sometimes it's emailed directly to the witness. Whatever the case may be, you need to let us know how you want that read and sign distribution information distributed. And so you can go ahead and add in, we'll say, an email to this form. Again, same thing that you do now on the billing worksheet, just comes up in a pop-up instead of a fill-in field in the billing worksheet now. Once you let us know the distribution information, you're going to go ahead and click continue. And once you hit continue, you're going to be brought into the third screen, which is where you will enter your orders. Now, the noticing firm, the scheduling firm, the hiring attorney, again, however you refer to it, will already be pre-populated here, along with the attorney's name that we received at the time of scheduling. If this is not the attorney that actually appeared, maybe Mr. Walker got sick that day, maybe another attorney is taking the job, he just noticed it, whatever the case may be. You do have the option to change this attorney's name by selecting this dropdown. When you select this dropdown, you're going to have access to all the contacts that we have in our system under the noticing law firm. Again, if the attorney that appeared actually is still not in this dropdown, leave it as the noticing attorney, and I'm going to tell you where to let us know who actually appeared. We're also going to know it from your transcript, but there's a space to let us know if Randy Walker didn't appear and he wasn't in the drop-down list. If you have multiple witnesses, and again, maybe only one is being ordered, you have the option to tell us that. And then you're going to go ahead and fill in the orders. So we're going to say that Mr. Walker is responsible for the O&1, and he got the exhibits. Now, under specialties, you can let us know if there were any other special items ordered for this job. For example, Mr. Walker needed to share a ton of exhibits with some clients, so he'd used our Instant Exhibit Plus platform. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. But there's other options under this specialty dropdown that you can let us know. Again, for example, if we knew ahead of time that it was a real-time job, which we hope we know ahead of time, right? Because we want to make sure that we send a real-time reporter on that job, that's automatically going to be pre-filled here. But let's say Mr. Walker ordered a rough draft at the time of our job. You can go ahead and select rough draft here, so we know that Mr. Walker got a rough draft. Now, I got lucky on this job because I got more than one copy, so I need to add an order. If we receive a service list on this job or this case, we're already going to have party information here. And you can look to see if we have that information by going to the Quick Add Case Parties tab right here. If you select this dropdown, you will see all of the attorneys and their firm name and their location that we are aware of that are a party to this case. So if Eileen Smith appeared and she ordered a copy, I'm going to go ahead and select her and I'm going to add her, and it's going to fill in right there. She also ordered a copy, she ordered exhibits, and I didn't get her order on the record. Maybe we were all packing up, she's walking out the door, oh, Miss Reporter, I actually do want a copy. For whatever maybe she ordered it at later, she sent me an email and said, I do want a copy of that. I didn't get it on the record. For purposes of demonstration, I'm going to say that. And again, we do highly recommend that you get it in writing to some degree, whether it is on the record or whether it is an email. But for purposes of demonstration, I'm going to say I did not get Miss Smith's order on the record. Miss Smith also ordered a rough draft, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. But then another attorney appeared, and it's not in this quick add list. So again, maybe we weren't aware that they were a party to the case, but they ordered a copy. If there's an attorney that ordered a transcript or ordered a copy, but is not in this drop-down list, you can manually add an order by selecting this green button right here. It's going to give you a line to add. I've already done this earlier, so we'll go ahead and say the law offices of William Abrego appeared, and it was William Smith, and he's ordering a copy and exhibits. I got his order on the record, and he didn't order anything extra, so I'm going to leave that blank. Okay? If you accidentally add an order and you need to delete it, you can use this little trash can icon right here, and it's gone. Again, if Miss Smith was not the one that appeared and the attorney was not in this quick add list, you can use the drop down and select a different attorney. Okay, so once you let us know all the orders, you're going to go ahead and click next. Once you click next, you're going to be prompted with this pop-up, order distribution information. Now this is cool, so stay with me for a second. Right now on your billing worksheet, we make you duplicate your appearance page, right? So some reporters will manually re-enter everything in, some reporters copy and paste, but we ask you to put your appearances in the billing worksheet right now. With our new method of turning in, you no longer need to do that. So when you get prompted with this screen, if the transcript is going directly to the attorney that appeared, and there's nothing above and beyond that, we don't need any information from you here. We already have that information. We already have their shipping address. We already have their email address. We don't need anything extra from you here. So if there's nothing above and beyond sending the transcript directly to the attorney that ordered, you do not need to fill in anything here. You can just click continue and keep going. But sometimes there's those cases where maybe Mr. Walker, says, hey, Mr. Reporter, make sure you email me the transcript, but can you also CC my paralegal when you email that? Sure, no problem. So we're going to send it to Mr. Walker, but we also need to make sure that his paralegal gets the transcript. So you can let us know that here. Okay? Again, if there's nothing above and beyond sending it directly to the attorney, nothing needs to be filled in here. You can just go ahead and click continue. Now, if you recall, Miss Smith ordered a copy, but I didn't get it on the record because we were packing up. She was walking out the door and turned around and said, hey, Miss Reporter, I actually do want a copy of that transcript. If you do not get the order on the record, and this box is not checked when you enter in your copies, you're going to get this friendly reminder to please upload your proof of order in the next step. Again, we highly recommend you getting orders in writing, whether that's on the record or email. And if it's not on the record, we ask that you give us your proof of order so that if a dispute ever came up, we don't even have to bother you. We can handle the dispute with the attorney. We know what happens. Attorney writes in and claims they never ordered that transcript. They have no idea why they received the copy, but we can handle that internally. Of course, if we don't have your proof of order, we're not going to do anything to the job. We're always going to reach out to you to make sure that we can handle that dispute and work with you on that. But if we have it and you know it's in our archive, we can handle that with the attorney separately, and we don't even have to bother you. This is not a requirement. Again, it's just a friendly reminder, but you will get that pop-up if you do not select on the record. Okay? So you're going to go ahead and click OK. And once you do that, you're going to be taken to the fourth screen where you're going to upload your files. Now, you can either select the Browse button and browse your computer to where you save your files. If you are like me, I organized by job date again, and I made some sample files here. So we are turning in today's job, July 30th. And we're turning in John Smith and Jane Doe. So if you wanted to browse your computer and search for them, you can do that as well. Or you can simply go to where you saved the documents that you need to upload, and you can grab whatever you need to upload, and you can drag and drop them right into here. So as soon as I drag and drop, the system's going to upload, and then all we need you to do is let us know what documents you just uploaded. So you have a drop down right here, and you have options to let us know what the document is. This is my YTG file. I utilize YesLaw. I have a digital signature. My transcript is tamper-proof, so this is my transcript file. If you don't know what YesLaw is, don't worry. You would upload your ASCII with your signed cert page here. If you're interested in YesLaw, please reach out to us at reporterrelations@uslegalsupport.com, and we will get you set up with YesLaw. You'll fill out some forms. You'll obtain a digital signature. We highly recommend that. That makes your transcript tamper-proof, and we know in this remote world, people try to do all kinds of crazy things with our transcripts. So if you want to make sure it's tamper-proof, I highly suggest YesLaw. It's super easy to use. That's my spiel, and we'll keep going with Engage Turn In. So I uploaded a YTG. That is my transcript file. If you have more than one witness, you'll just need to let us know what witness that transcript belongs to. If it's just one witness, it's going to automatically pre-fill in for you. I also had a couple of exhibits to upload. Now, again, you can scroll through this list of options. Sorry, I'm skipping the proof of order one for a second. Or I'm sorry, I guess I can just put it in. What is this? This is my proof of order. So again, you can scroll through the options in the dropdown, or you can click on the dropdown and key in the first letter of the file that you're trying to upload. So I just hit the E, it went right to the word exhibit, and you hit enter and it'll take it. So again, just a quicker way of trying to find which file to categorize it with. Again, two ways. If it's an exhibit, you're going to let us know the exhibit number. And again, if there's multiple witnesses, you need to let us know what witness it belongs to. So I'll go ahead and fill these in here. And then this is my other transcript file. Oh, and I messed this up. This is for Jane Doe. Okay. So if you accidentally add a file that you are not supposed, that you didn't mean to upload, you can just quickly hit this X and the file will go away. I want to talk about exhibits for a second. Now, if you have electronic exhibits and you utilize your own marking method, which means you do not utilize Box, to utilize our tool to put a sticker on your electronic exhibit. You have your own marking method outside of Box, whether that's an Adobe sticker, whether you have your own software that you utilize to put a sticker on there. If you have your own marking method, you are now going to start uploading your exhibits to Engage Turn In because you already have the sticker on it and you can just drop it right in here. If you still need to utilize Box to use our tool so that you are able to mark your electronic exhibits, you are going to continue to turn in your exhibits via Box and mark them in Box. You don't need to upload to Box, mark them, download them, and then drop them here. Okay? Box will continue to be the way that you submit your exhibits. So one more time, just to make sure everybody's following me. If you have your own marking method, meaning you can put a sticker on an electronic exhibit outside of Box, you can start uploading your exhibits here. If you still need to utilize Box because you need our marking tool, you will continue utilizing Box just as you do today. If that does not make sense to you, if you're like, Sarah, what the heck are you talking about? What is Box or what am I supposed to do? Just go ahead and email us at reporterrelations@uslegalsupport.com and we'll let you know what to do, okay? I don't use the Adobe sticker. I hated the Adobe sticker. I use Box.com still to upload and mark my exhibits. So I'm going to delete this exhibit file right here so that I can show you for purposes of demonstration what's going to happen. Now, all you need to do, again, is upload whatever files are relevant for this order. Again, it's a transcript order. You no longer need a billing worksheet. So I'm going to upload my 2 transcript files. Here's Ms. Smith's proof of order. She emailed me later. Once I'm ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Before I click next, one quick tip too. As you're dragging and dropping files here or you're browsing, you're placing them in a queue in our platform. The platform has not had a chance to upload these files yet. So if you're moving along and you have a lot of files that you need to upload, maybe you have a lot of exhibits and you're going through and you're uploading transcripts, maybe you have 5 witnesses, you need to upload all the transcripts, but then you realize, oh shoot, I forgot to add an order or I need to add something to the witness info. If you don't click next first on this, again, the platform's not going to have the opportunity to upload the files, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. I just want you to be aware that if you're working on this, you're dragging and dropping and you're categorizing, and you click back, you're going to lose these files. So always just make sure to go next, because as soon as you click next, it's going to upload the files for you. Now, if you recall, John Smith, he had 2 exhibits that were marked. I don't have an Adobe sticker. I utilize box.com to upload and mark my exhibits, so I didn't upload anything here. You have to let us know where your exhibits are. Maybe it was an in-person job and you shipped your exhibits to one of our production hubs. Either you used your own UPS label or you reached out to our fabulous Reporter Solutions team to get a UPS label. You can let us know what production hub they ended up by choosing this option and letting us know which office. Maybe you delivered them to a U.S. Legal Support office that accepts exhibit drop-off. You can select this option. You have a drop-down of the 11 offices right now that accept in-person exhibit drop-off. We are adding to this list, so as more offices become available, this list will be updated appropriately. And if you live in one of these states where exhibit drop-off is acceptable, you will be receiving an email from me letting you know that you're able to drop off exhibits in that office. But for now, here are the 11 options. You can let us know where the exhibits are. Maybe they were retained and you just forgot to let us know when you were letting us know what exhibits were marked. You don't have to go back to the witness screen. You can just let us know right here who retained those exhibits. If you're like me in this example and I uploaded them to Box, you can select this option right here. And then of course, the last one is if they were captured in Remote Depot Pro. If you don't know what Remote Depot Pro is, don't worry, you're not missing anything. It's our new Zoom platform and it's awesome. If you have reporter friends that have been trained on Remote Depot Pro and are taking jobs on Remote Depot Pro, they'll tell you how cool it is. But if you haven't been trained on it yet or you don't know what it is, don't worry. I am so excited to get you all on Remote Depot Pro, but it is a slow rollout. We're still demoing it to clients. We're still getting everybody trained on it. So if you don't know what that option is right now, just disregard it. So I uploaded them to Box. Oh, I'm sorry. And the last option is maybe, again, out of habit because we're not used to uploading our exhibits here. Maybe you just forgot to upload them. You can always return to upload them here. Again, going back to my example, I need to upload to Box because I need to use our marking tool. So I uploaded my exhibits to Box and I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And I have an error. Give me 1 second. We were working on this earlier and I think they were pushing the code through. So I know what the error is. Give me 1 moment. Okay, so see, I lost my files. So give me 1 moment. I'm going to go ahead and add those files back here for purposes of demonstration. All right. Uh-oh, what happened to my other one? I love when I practice this and I do all these trainings and then I go live and something happens. So bear with me, you guys. It never fails. All right. So for purposes of demonstration, I'm uploading my 2 transcripts and I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And I uploaded to Box. We already went over this. All right, now my files are uploading. The larger your files are, the more files you upload, that progress bar is going to take a little bit longer. I ended up only uploading those 2 transcript files, so went a little bit quick, but hopefully you saw that progress bar. And again, when you are on screen 4, you're dropping them into that queue. You got to hit next in order for the system to be able to upload them, all right? Once you hit next, you're going to be taken to the last screen, which is review and submit. And you're going to be able to go through all the screens that you just entered all the information in and confirm that everything's accurate. If you're going through and you realize, oh shoot, I made a mistake. We didn't start at 10:05. We actually started at 10:07. All you got to do is click this little pencil. It's going to jump you back to the screen where you need to make an edit. Go ahead and adjust what you need to adjust. And then you can either click the next button and go through these screens again, Or you can simply just click the number 5 and jump back to the review page, and it's going to save what you just edited. All right. So I'm going to scroll through here and make sure that everything looks good. Here are my witnesses. Here's my read and sign information. Here are my orders. Here are the files that I uploaded. And then here's a more to tell us section, AKA special instructions. So again, if you remember, we were talking about attorney appearances, and if we don't have them in our database, you got to let us know somewhere. Again, we're going to know from your transcript if Mr. Walker wasn't the one that appeared and the attorney that actually appeared wasn't in the dropdown. But if that is the case, you can let us know here that Sarah Giamenko appeared instead of Mr. Walker. Again, once we produce that, we're going to add the contact of the attorney that appeared to our system. It's going to be available for you at a later time. Or if there's anything above and beyond that we didn't capture in these first 4 screens, you can go ahead and let us know here. All right. If you're like me, I like to document everything. I have billing worksheets from I don't even want to admit what year. I have a file folder of exhibit worksheets, and I have a whole folder on my computer of exhibit worksheets. If you're like me and you want to document what you turned in, you can hit this little print button right here. And you can either print a hard copy, again, if you have a file folder of all of your exhibit worksheets, or you can save it as a PDF and save it on your computer, which is what I would do today. And it's a printout of all the information that you just turned in so that you have that documented in case you never needed to go back to it. If you forget to hit that print button, you forget to save it, don't worry. There's another place that you have access to what you turned in, and I will show you that as soon as we submit this job. So we filled out everything, we're ready to turn it in. You're going to go ahead and hit submit. Once you hit submit, the platform's going to process, and it's going to give you these cool little fireworks, which is my favorite part, letting you know that it was successful. And you're going to be brought back to the assignments detail page where you can confirm that it was turned in by this status right up here. You can also tell that it was successful because the turn in button is now going to be deactivated. So once you turn something in, you can't go back, okay? It's going to be deactivated. If you turn something in and you made a mistake, oh shoot, I think I uploaded the wrong transcript. Oh shoot, I forgot to add an order. Don't worry, reach out to our production team, letting them know that you need to redo your submission. What they're going to do is they're going to flip the job to turn an exception. And if you don't know what turn an exception is, good job. You never have mistakes, or we never have to clarify anything for you. So that's awesome. But turn an exception is basically when we have to reach out to you because we're either missing something or we're trying to clarify something that you wrote on your billing worksheet, or maybe we didn't receive the exhibits and we're looking for them, whatever the case may be. It's going to get put back into turn an exception, and that's what's going to reactivate this button for you so you can go in and fix what you want. On another note, if you turn in everything and you think everything's all good, but you get a turn in exception from production because maybe you wrote AM on the first page instead of PM. I'm sorry, other way around. You had the job starting on PM instead of AM and you need to correct it. Again, you're going to be notified via email from the production department just like you do now, but you're also going to see it in Engage, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if you utilize Engage now, again, if you have a turn in exception, you're going to be emailed by production letting you know the clarifying question or what needs to be adjusted if we ended up finding an error. So I made that mistake that we were just talking about. I said that this job started at 10:07 p.m. instead of 10:07 a.m. And so I need to correct that. You can click right into this card. You can go back to your assignments due. You can go back to your calendar view to get back to this job. But as soon as you do, that turn in button is going to be reactivated and you can resubmit it. All your information is going to save. You just have to fix what is needed. So for example, in this one where I needed to make an adjustment on my transcript, I need to turn in a new transcript file. All I would do is go back to that upload files page and upload the new transcript and return it in. If you recall, where am I? I said that if you forgot to hit that print button and you need to save, you want to have a record of what you turned in. If you forgot to print it or save it to your computer, when you're in the job, in this Documents tab, once you turn it in, you're going to have access to this Turn In Snapshot. And if you click on that, it's going to go ahead and download. Oh, I'm sorry, that was in the Turn In Exception. So this one's no longer active. Where was that job I just turned in? So you have access to the Turnitin snapshot. You can go ahead and click on it. It's going to download it for you. And if I can get it to open on my same screen, yay. It's that same page that we were looking at. So again, you have access to save this to your computer if you want a record of what you turned in, if you forgot to print that record. And that's it. You just turned in a job assignment. I know with all the explanations that seem like a little bit longer, but again, you're really going to be able to move through it. It's going to be pretty easy. For purposes of demonstration, I just want to show you really quickly how quickly you can move through it. So I want to turn in this job assignment, and I'm going to turn in a late cancellation just to show you how quick it actually is. So I had this job today, it canceled this morning, no one showed up, so I'm going to turn in this late cancellation. Once you select late cancellation, you're going to be taken into service info, and you can let us know if there was an actual start time. So I showed up at 10 o'clock like I was supposed to, but nobody else was there. I reached out to my scheduler. She finally let me know at 10:37 that the witness got sick and it wasn't going forward. So I'm going to put in my actual start time and end time there of what I waited for. Turnaround time, not applicable because there's nothing being turned in. Due date, not applicable, nothing going to the client. I showed up in person, unfortunately, and no one else was there, and I had to spend $35 on parking. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. On the right side, none of this is applicable because the job didn't go forward, so you can just click next. Alexander Smith was the one that was supposed to appear. He got sick this morning, so we didn't move forward. The type is going to automatically be pre-populated to late cancellation. There's no pages, there's no volume. All of these fields are not applicable, so you're going to go ahead and click next. The hiring attorney that is going to be responsible for my appearance is going to automatically be pre-populated. We're not sending him a transcript. Job didn't go forward. We're going to go ahead and click next. There's nothing to upload. It was a late cancellation. I'm going to go ahead and click next. I'm really just checking to make sure, hey, I got there at 10. I waited 37 minutes until they let me know that it didn't go through. I'm going to print my submission so that I have a record of it. And I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. And I just turned in a late cancellation in probably less than 1 minute. So much quicker than what you do now, right? So again, I know that that was a lot of explanation, but once you start moving through it, it's going to be super simple. After this after this training is over, you are going to have access to this recording along with a shorter video of a tutorial, and you're also going to have access to a user guide. All of those materials that you'll have access to as a reference are going to be in that email once we tell you that you can start using the turn-in features. So you're not going to have access to it right after this training, but again, it's going to come in that email when we tell you, hey, we're going live, we're so excited. We're going to give you those materials in that email, so be on the lookout for that. We do have a few minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.